Hello and welcome to Huddersfield Town's post-match show in association with Sports Broker. After a much-needed 1-0 win over Queen's Park Rangers, to talk us through the action, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by former Huddersfield Town striker Rodney Rowe and Andy Lawson, broadcaster and presenter on Pop DAB. How are you both? You okay?
Very well, Adam. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Rodney?
A lot better after that win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think we all are. I think we all are.
I mean, a lot of Town fans will be happy today.
It was an excellent result, Rodney, wasn't it? An
Let's
excellent
just be honest
result.
about it. To be honest, I mean, I think if we're all in agreement, apart from the one moment in the first half where obviously Aaron Rowe lost the ball and the double save by Schofield, I don't think, to be fair, they troubled us in any way, did they? I think we controlled the match from start to finish, to be honest. In my opinion, I don't know if anybody else agrees with that. I think the team defensively, worked as a good unit. We had a lot of chances. Could be more clinical in front of goal, but overall, a clean sheet, 3 points, a very good QPR side. You've got to take that. You have to take that.
Absolutely. It was, I think we all will. We all will. It was a result, Andy, that we really did need.
Yeah, I mean, we all had the Swansea high of a few weeks ago. We then had a couple of tough results, and we've then got these couple of draws before this. We've seen that Carlos has kind of changed things about, and I suppose it did feel a bit like we were due a win again now, because we've changed things. We've tried new ideas, new tactics. It's starting to bring things to fruition, and today it feels particularly good as well because A, it's an away game, and B, you go into the game against QPR and you look at the side and you see people like Charlie Austin in their team, and you see that they bring a lot of players in to be concerned about. But actually, as Rodney says, apart from maybe a spell from like the 30th minute to, let's say, the 50th, 55th, something like that, QPR, look, the better team. But apart from that, really, they didn't cause us too many dangers. And look, we've come away 1-0 win, so I'm happy enough, just like Rodney.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you could see from the last couple of performances, Rodney, the Birmingham and Cardiff draw, that things had changed around a little bit. We were in every game. We created good chances and came away from those matches thinking, how have we not picked up 3 points there? When today, again, it felt a little bit similar in the first half, and then we got that all-important goal through Juninho Bacuna, a really deserved 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, after the goal, I generally was hoping the referee was blow the whistle and just give us the victory. To be honest, because I just saw fate in itself. Us just, the players working so hard and conceding a sloppy goal, which they have done recently. Obviously making mistakes is part of it. It does happen in the game, but they'd work so hard today. You could see it, you could see when they made the mistakes that they were willing to try and win the ball back, try and get back into shape quickly. But you could also see that the fact that they were willing to go forward, and try and create more chances. And I think, even when I was looking forward to watching young Aaron Rowe, to be honest, as a more attacking threat. But I presume it may have been tactical point from the coach that said, you know what, he saw Kane as a threat and thought, well, I'll use him in that tactic today. And let's be honest, the lad Kane didn't do anything. So I think as a positive step, it worked, and it did work. So positives all around. Today, from all the players, lots of positives.
Yeah, and lots of kudos to Carlos Corberán as well. Andy, we said the first half was very good. We created a lot of chances. Second half, like you said, we were under a little bit of pressure at the start. He made a couple of changes, notably bringing D'Amico Dehaney on down the right-hand side, who I personally thought was excellent when he came on, but that moved Pippa to the left and he set up the goal.
Yeah, he did. It was really clever tactics actually by Carlos. He saw what QPR could do at the end of the first half. We didn't change at the break, which I mean, all right, maybe that could be the bit of a surprise. But you wait to see again what QPR were going to bring second half, and then we made the changes. I mean, you flag up that DD comes on and he does really well in his position. Pippa moves over to the left. Also, Dwayne Holmes comes on in that change. And I look at Dwayne actually, and I think that his energy up front and his pressure that he was putting on the defence, I actually think that was a particularly good decision by the boss as well. I'm actually looking at him and saying, I think actually is probably the guy I'm singling out as my man of the match. And it all comes really from Carlos's changes. So fair play, Carlos. He did well for me with those.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the goal.
Sorry, Rodney.
Sorry, I just think as well, those substitutions, just bringing the fresh legs on, because let's be honest, the players have really put so much effort into it. The players that did replace them continue with that same energy and effort, pressing, quickly, working hard, getting the shape early. So like I said, the effort never stopped, because the pressure continued from all the players that came on. So it was positive substitutions all around.
This is the thing now, though, isn't it? That we've got some players back from injury. Jonathan Hogg came back today. Richard Stearman's come back over the last few weeks, and there's more options now for Carlos Corberán to choose from. Today, in the preview show, we were talking about which three defenders is he going to choose. Is Jonathan Hogg going to come back in? And you could see today that the whole squad was being able to come on and make a difference. And that's the biggest thing that we haven't had over the last few weeks, Rodney.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the positive thing for me is the young lads who have had the opportunity to actually come in. I think Romane today was, his played against experienced players, again, another big, massive learning step for the young lad. And I thought he did excellent. I thought he did absolutely brilliant. Even at times where I thought just clear your lines, but you stay composed. But he's got experience. In Kiyan, beside him, obviously the lad Sarr. He's a beast. He's a big. I wouldn't want to be playing with him every week, to be honest. He looks a handful. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, it's good the fact that these more experienced players are coming back. And if they can stay fit and they can actually help these young players, and guide them, just to make sure they get over that line, because that's the important thing at this current time. Is that yes, there are a lot of the more experienced players there, and they may not be playing, but it's important for them to push these young talent coming through, and to also push that to push them and push themselves, to help our results get better, moving forward.
Yeah, we've touched upon Romane Edmonds-Green there, D'Amico Dehaney, Aaron Rowe. Already, but the back five and the guys that came on as well, Andy, the defence for me today was really resolute, like it was against Cardiff. They were winning their battles. You could hear them communicating more than probably I've heard them communicate over the last kind of 2 or 3 months, to be fair. And you can see how the relationships are building there as well now.
I think that's exactly it, actually, Adam. Suddenly we're in a situation where you are getting slightly used to a certain set of players who are coming in. I know we were talking about the options that Carlos Corberán had, but we're getting used to the fact now that Naby Sarr plays on the left side of the three. You've got the fact that Romane Edmonds-Green's on the right side, and they seem to be getting that thing that Rodney will talk about. Rodney knows this much more than I do because I've never really played football. I've only played Football Manager. But once you develop your kind of relationships on the pitch, you know where somebody is going to be. You know that, well, if I stand here, they are going to stand there and cover that. So you can see that we're starting to build that. We're getting that settled defence. And when, like before, I was talking about the fact that you look at the fact they've got Charlie Austin on the pitch. I mean, I go into every game against Charlie Austin nervous. Literally every single time we play against him, I get nervous. And I never want to say anything through the game about how we're handling him well. It's going all right. As soon as he goes off, it's kind of like, and relax. And I think that's all partly down to, or completely down to, the defence and their handling of him and the confidence that they have as well in their keeper behind them and things, and the midfield in front of them. So, yeah, it really is for me a sign that there's building relationships, and that is a real positive on the pitch for me at the back.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. I was going to say it's about honestly, that passion as well.
And it has to. And the thing is, it has to be. It has to be. I mean, everyone has to step up now. It is tight. It's the results have gone well for the club today. But they've got to push on. They have to keep that sort of commitment and levels right now until it's until the club's safe. For another season. In the Championship. But it has to continue week in and week out. It has to be at that all the time. And it's going to be difficult. It is going to be difficult. But like I said today, no one probably give the players a chance today. But like I say, you've just got to believe in what the manager wants and get the results, hopefully, that come their way.
Yeah, and arguably, Andy, this result is even bigger because it's away from home. Our first win away since Halloween. We haven't had the best, obviously, fortunes on the road. It just gives you a bit of a lift, doesn't it? Now going into the last 10 games of the year.
Yeah, exactly that. As Rodney says, really, it's about we're kind of finding our groove now. We've changed how things are working. We're finding our groove with it, and it's now about getting these victories away in London and things, but also now pushing on, continuing, because we've got Sheffield Wednesday through midweek. We can make a big impact again if we can get some kind of result there. We can really help ourselves, and it's about building momentum. And Adam, you and I, we've talked on these post-match reviews in the past about how we feel like we're picking up a bit of momentum and then suddenly it's like it stops. And this is where now we really have to look at ourselves, forget what everybody else is doing, just look at ourselves, build now. Don't look at it again and think we should have build. Be in the position at the end of the season where you look back at games like this and think, right, that is where we saved ourselves. And hopefully we can start from here, continuing to build with the next game.
I think we need to be unconcerned about the other results because the performances itself, will get the players out from where they are. It's not about the other teams. It's about what they do on the pitch. It's about what they're doing on the training ground every day. It's about listening to the instructions, what's been expected from them, and delivering on that day.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And Rodney, it was a massive plus to have Jonathan Hogg back as well. You can see him on the pitch. He's a real leader in terms of marshalling people where to go, relaying the messages that Carlos Corberán gives him on the touchline. Maybe a touch unlucky on Alex Vallejo's part not to be in the starting lineup today because he has been performing very well recently as well. But equally, Jonathan Hogg is just the beating heart, isn't he, of this team?
Yeah, he was immense today. He really was, and I wanted to give it to Romani for the match today because of the Charlie Austin, but unfortunately, he just pipped him. He just pipped him because honestly, he ran it, he controlled it. He was, he was trying to go forward, which is more defensively, than usually is. He was, you could hear him, constantly, giving instructions, making sure players knew where they were. Near the end where obviously he went down injured, and I thought there's no more subs. But I thought, well, here we go again. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. I was hoping it was just cramp. Maybe a bit of time.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably just a touch of cramp.
Yeah. So again, to me it's like, again that sort of experience again. Again, the younger players seeing that, the other players around that seeing that and galvanizing and saying, right, that if that's what it's going to take, that's what it takes. And it just takes a performance like that just to say, right, we need more of this. And let's say 10 more games.
Absolutely. That's the thing now, isn't it? I mean, Andy, we've kind of touched upon it there. Sheffield Wednesday coming up next, another big game, another game away from home. But like we said, we can take a lot of confidence out of this win into that game and hopefully kick on from here.
Yeah, we are in that really fortunate position where, granted, we've not had a great run of form or anything, but it's completely in our control. We can just continue to build, hopefully, as we have been, because what are we now? We're 5 points out of 9, which is a return I'll happily take. Chuck in the Swansea result from, about 3 games prior. If you look at that, actually, there's a building block there. It's completely in our own hands. As Rodney says, the results this weekend so far haven't been too bad for us. So we can take a lot of comfort in that, and hopefully, again, Rodney might be able to kind of answer this as a former player. But if you're maybe looking at that table and you see this is completely in our own hands, I'm hoping in a way that's going to take a bit of the pressure off. Add then in the fact that some of the more experienced players are coming back, and I'm hopeful that, we've talked to these building, places to build from, Adam, and hopefully, and Rodney, hopefully you'll agree that this now really can be that chance for all the reasons that I've just said.
I mean, they're taking points off Swansea. They didn't expect that. The Cardiff game was defensively as a team as good as it's going to get. And they've come away today, from the capital and gained 3 points. Now that in itself is hugely massive, an impact for the team moving forward. It's massive. And the players should see that and say, right, what can we do from this? Why can't we go on a run? Why can't we go on on an unbeaten run, 3, 4, 5, 6, unbeaten run? Because it's possible. Because those sort of results that nobody expected just sort of show how this league is, and it is the most craziest league ever. You can win 5, 6 games in the bounce and get to the playoffs. Yeah, you can also lose 5 and 6 and end up in the bottom 4. That's how crazy it is, but it is possible, and they've shown that it is possible. And I think they need to really take this now on and say, right, who's with me? Each player should be saying, who's with me, and they should be really grafting every single, draining every little bit they've got in themselves whenever on that pitch, because it is possible for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, guys, I'm not sure what you could see on the iFollow coverage. I was running down pitch side to interview Jonathan Hogg after the game, but in the stands and running through the like tunnel area, you could just hear the screams of delight and the kind of celebrations from the players on the pitch. It shows that how much they care about what they're doing, how much a win means to them, and that's exactly what you need, isn't it, when you're in a run or have been in a run like we have, and you're in a fight like we are.
Yeah, I mean, the passion and the desire from this team for me has never, ever, ever been in question. It's just a case of things have maybe happened where the confidence has dipped, but the actual desire to get out of this position, the actual love of playing in blue and white stripes, for me as a fan, I have never once questioned that anybody really doesn't want to be part of this project. We've just seen the confidence issues maybe creeping in because of the odd mistake here and there. But I think with the youth that we've brought in, sometimes maybe you can get a bit of nervousness and maybe that can put it through the whole squad. But look at where we are. We're doing all right. We have got things to build on, and we've got these more experienced players. They are starting to come back. We've been talking injuries a lot this season, but it's slowly becoming less of an issue. I mean, when Hoggy went down, I've got to be honest with you, my heart stopped for just a brief moment. But as you say, Adam, hopefully it is just something that can be sorted quite quickly. But yeah, I mean, look, just one thing with Hoggy, as you say, Rodney, he absolutely ran that game. That was brilliant. And I feel in a way for Alex Vallejo, because Alex Vallejo's been doing that as well in previous games. Certainly maybe less of the defensive, but the passes out from midfield. And so I feel like Jonathan Hogg, there was that pressure there because Vallejo's been doing the role really well, but I feel like Jonathan Hogg deserves, I mean, actually, I said Dwayne Holmes man of the match. Rodney, actually, to be fair, I think you're possibly right. Maybe the unsung hero of the day has to be Johnny Hogg because he did a superb job coming back today.
And I think also as well, though, I mean, the fact that a player has missed out today well. That should be the standard throughout any position, right through. I think any player right now should be saying, well, I'm unlucky to not to be in, and they should be pushing to say, well, I should be starting. That should be the standard right through for whatever position. Obviously with the change front with Fraser starting today, I personally think it works really well. The fact that he didn't have the height on Sinogo, but he had the determination to press the centre backs and do the hard work, the hard yards, chasing everything, pressuring, when he could, but also recognizing when just to sit deeper, just to protect the midfield, from the danger areas. So it kind of works. So for me, it kind of works. You've got to be ready, and your performances have got to be ready that if you've missed out, like you said today, for the midfield, but when you do come on, you've got to make sure that you're giving your all. You make sure that your levels are just as good as the person that you're coming on for. And I think that's the key of every player moving forward, and it's really important.
Yeah, that competition is vital, especially as you come towards the end of the season. Just before we wrap it up, I realised that we haven't touched upon Juninho Bacuna's excellent strike, Rodney. I mean, the technique to fizz the ball like that on the half volley, and to even have the space that he did to hold his run was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there were a few times in the first half I was going mad. I was like, stop losing the ball. Just stop losing the ball, please. In good areas, stop losing the ball. And they smashed it, and I thought, typical. I thought, I'll be that person in the crowd, being negative, and and someone to turn around to me and say, there you go. You know what I mean? And to be fair, the technique was fantastic. And honestly, we all know he's got the technique. He was very unlucky with the free kick, again, very clever, I thought he was very with the free kick. But again, you can't take anything away from his goal. A fantastic strike, like I say, and yeah, it made me eat my words, so I'll say no more on that. Fantastic strike.
An excellent result here in London. Rodney, Andy, thank you very much for joining us, and Town fans, thank you for watching.